All right. So guys, like I mentioned, okay, learning commercial brokerage, learning to be a listing agent is one of the most lucrative things you can do. Okay. Because that is part of our phase one. Part of phase one is creating a sustainable business and not working with tenants, not working with buyers, but working with sellers is the fastest way to get there because you have the most control. Okay. How many of you have ever been ghosted by a buyer? You bring them all around, you show them all these different properties and stuff like that. And next thing you know, it's like poof, they went into the witness protection program or something. You with me, guys? Right? Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. I mean, way more times than I care to admit. Okay. So the way you do that, the way you get to the sell side of the equation, you have to have a consistent prospecting engine. You need to be picking up the phone every single day and having quality conversations. Most of what we talk about is having the right message to the right person at the right time. You got to have all three of those, right? The analogy I like to go back to, you guys remember these from high school, right? Remember these, right? 34 to the left, 14 to the right, 9 to the left, and boop, pops right open, right? But what happens if you're missing any one of those three digits? If you don't do it right, what happens? Does that lock open or it doesn't open, right? And that's the point, folks, okay? The lock doesn't open unless you are doing, in this case, the right message to the right person at the right time. So you got to have all the three key ingredients, okay? Because having those three key ingredients, that's going to allow you to have consistent flow of listings into your business. Okay. When you can have a consistent flow of listings into your business, you can start taking control. For those of you that are driving, I see Laurina and Judy, you guys are driving, right? What would happen if you let go of the steering wheel? Hey, Laurina, right? What would happen? Your car would go out of control, right? Same thing in your business. By you having listings constantly coming into your business, you get to drive your business instead of your business driving you. The analogy I always love to use is it's like having a tiger by a tail. How many of you ever felt when you got into the office and the phone's ringing and the texts are coming in, the emails are coming in, and people are pulling you here and there and everywhere? How many of you felt like you got a tiger by the tail and it's just kind of like pulling you through your day? As opposed to you have that tiger on a leash and that tiger goes where you tell it to go. Why? Because you are in control. You guys, do me a favor, in the comments, type control if you'd like to have a bit more control in your business, okay? Bottom line, because that's really what it comes down to. How about you folks in Facebook land, right? How many of you guys would like to have more control in your business? Because if you can control your business, you can control your income. And if you can control your income, you can control your life, right? Jason's with me. I guess Jason's the only one that wants control in his business. Come on, guys. Come on. Use your fingers. Come on, Lara. I see you smiling. Guys, the more you engage, the more you remember. The more you remember, the more money you make. So if you're smart and you want to engage, there we go. Arlene's with me. Alyssa's with me. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got some live ones now. All right, love it. If you want to get the most out of your time here, folks, okay, engage with me. Okay, engage, go back and forth. Unfortunately, we can't talk back and forth, but we can engage via the chat. It's going to help us all. Okay, it's going to help you remember it next time it comes time to use it. So, one important note, folks, until you have a consistent, repeatable business that you can get up every day and make dials and get meetings and get listings, you'll never be able to get to phase two. Okay. Phase two is when it starts to get fun. Okay. How many of you ever felt like you get up every day and you put deals together and stuff like that, but you find yourself spending your time making other people wealthy, right? And you felt like, man, if I just had the money, I would like to put it in towards that. Oh man, like I found this amazing deal, but I don't have any money in it. And I told one of my clients about it, and they bought it, and a year or two later, they're making killer money on it. So that ever happened to you, right? Ever chap your butt, right? It happened to me, man. Okay. So, it's cool. See how it raises the hand? It's a new thing in whatchamacallit. It's a new thing in Zoom. But the point is, guys, so at a certain point, you're going to get tired of making other people large sums of money. How about this? Phase two, how about you make yourself large sums of money? How do we start to do that? Okay. When maybe you don't have as much capital. Okay. The first thing you can do is you can start figuring out ways of inserting yourself into deals. Now, sometimes it might be something small. Okay. It might be as small as, well, I'm just going to roll my, let's say you find the seller and the buyer. Okay. Maybe you just roll your commission in and you wind up sitting there and you say, you know what? I'll just let 6% go into the deal and let it ride. If you have a good relationship with the people that own it, maybe they want to try to help you out, you can put your commission in. You say, hey, listen, I'll put 6% in if I can have a 10% of the upside, something like that, right? You try to strike a deal with them. That's the first way to get yourself involved in step 2. Now, phase 2 isn't going to be the most powerful phase, but it's a way of getting you your first step in the right direction. So if you can throw your 6% in and get 10% of the equity, I think you struck yourself a good deal, right? If the people need that money and could maybe the investor is a relatively new investor and they need all the money they can get to save for renovations or something like that, right? The other thing you can do is think about it, folks. All right, what do we do all day long? We get to look at properties. Okay, you can find a deal that makes sense. Okay, and then you can assign it. So you take it, you put it under contract yourself, and then you can get paid an assignment fee. Okay. So another interesting thing, when you have something under contract, you essentially control the deal. So let's say you found a property that's worth $1 million, but you found it for $875,000. And guess what? You find somebody from your investor list and you go and you find them and you assign the deal to them for $1 million, right? Or you charge an assignment fee, right? You just made $125,000 on 875. Does that sound like a little bit better than making a 3% fee on 875, or even a 6% fee on 875? You guys with me? Okay. You can make 50,000 or you can make 125,000. Which one's more lucrative, guys? I'm trying to show you guys ways outside of the box of either getting involved in deal or making sums of money that are larger than just a brokerage fee. Okay. Very, very important. Okay. When you start looking at the next level, that's when you can start getting financially free. The next one is, if you know the business well enough, you can do flips. Okay. Now, are you going to start with big properties at first? Probably not. But in an increasing property, in an increasing market, there might be flips out there. Guys, we are at the front line. We see everything before anyone sees what we see. So it's very, very important to understand. You got to make sure that you are thinking outside of the box. If you just always think like an agent, always think like a broker, you'll never be able to make the large sums of money that you can from being a little bit creative. Okay. Because when you go from being a broker to start thinking about how to get yourself into deals, throwing your commission in, finding deals flipping, so on and so forth, right? That's the next step. Finally, okay, is you can syndicate. Okay. You can find a deal, sell off fractional ownership in it, and then you get to keep a piece of it, right? Because you put the whole thing together. Okay. That's a whole other level without you having to put much or even sometimes any of your money. If you think about it, if you, let's say, bought $1 million or you found $1 million property, okay, you sold 10% shares in it for $110,000 and you sold 9 of them, what would that get you? Right? That would get you $990,000 of money for $1 million deal. You're in the deal for $10,000 and you got a 10% equity stake. You with me, guys? Just using like simplistic math. Okay. That's how you syndicate things, right? From a very high overview. Okay. You're selling fractional ownership. Very, very important. And then phase 3, and this is where you actually start making real money. Phase 3 is when you start to do it for yourself. Okay. Because a good broker knows how to think like a good investor. When you are able to start seeing things the way a good investor is, then it's just a question of how do I get my hands on it? Okay. There are lots of creative ways of doing it, whether it's seller financing, whether it's partnering with somebody who they're the money person and you bird dog the deals, whatever it is, or maybe you start small, you knock one out of the park, and then you do a cash out refinance. Okay. There's a bunch of different ways of making money in this business. Okay. Because at the end of the day, guys, my charge to you, my advice to you would be stop making other people wealthy. Okay. Because at the end of the day, there's so much opportunity in this business to have the impact that you want, to help make an impact in other people's lives and help impact yourself and your family. Okay. This is the three-step phase. Now, I mentioned something interesting to you guys before. Okay. And I'd like you guys to share with me something. Okay. What would it take? How much residual income? And guys, don't get carried away. Let's talk realistic today, your lifestyle today. How much income would it take for you to sustain your lifestyle today? Is it 10 grand a month? Is it 15 grand a month? Is it 20 grand a month? What does it cost you to live today? Because most people don't realize that one real estate deal, maybe two, are what you need to make yourself financially free. Okay, so let's do me a favor. If you're not feeling shy, go ahead and type it in the chat. Janet Williams says 15K a month. Okay, that makes sense. All right, who else? Manny says 25K a month. Okay, guys, you guys are living high on the hog. If it costs you 300,000 a year to live, woo, that's a lot of money. But you know what? Fine, 25K a month. 13.5. Okay, Todd 10. Okay, the average American. I spoke to a CFP, a certified financial planner, and they said the average American today needs between $8,000 to $10,000 a month. 8 to 10. That's it, right? So the reality of it is, guys, you would have to have $1 million deal, okay, at 8% paid off, okay, in order for you to bring in $80,000 or to bring in that $80,000, which is like 7K a month. Okay. You would need one deal, worth $1.2 million, bringing in 8%. Let's say, yeah, there we go. To bring in 10K a month. You with me, guys? Okay. Maybe another deal to give you a little bit of icing on top. The point is, $1 million is a very, very small property in today's market. You don't need much. Maybe it's $1.5 million. And at an 8% cap, you know, my point is you don't need that much. You bring in 120K, you pay your taxes on it, you got 90K, and that's $8 grand a month, right? So the average American needs between $8,000 and $10,000 to live. I'm not talking about, you know, popping bottles at all the famous nightclubs and driving a Lamborghini. We're not talking about that stuff. We're talking about financial freedom for your current lifestyle. Very, very important. Because once you get free, truly financially free, and you don't have to get out of bed every day to do the things you have to do, you can get out of bed to do the things you want to do. Then you can swing for the fences. Is this making sense, guys? Type an exclamation point in the chat if this is making sense, right? If this makes sense to you guys, okay? All right, because you don't need that much to be financially free. Most people don't, you know, unless you're driving really, really high. You know, if you're living in like New York or San Fran or, you know, one of those very, very expensive cities. I live in Miami and it's pretty darn expensive since all the New Yorkers have moved here. But you get the point, right, folks? Okay, because, you know, the idea is once you can become financially free, then you can proceed to make yourself wealthy. Then you can spend all your hours in the day figuring out ways to get yourself into more deals, figuring out ways to make money for yourself. Once all your bills are taken care of, it makes you very, very free to do anything you want with your time, to spend time with your family, to make more impact in your community, to make more money, whatever it is you want to do, not just the things you have to do. Okay, folks? So remember, folks, we are the front line. We get to see all the deals before the entire market sees it. So use that to your advantage, okay? Brenda said, I actually know a New Yorker who has moved to Miami. He's going to be a realtor as well. Hi, there we go. Yeah. I'm here in Miami. And like every third person you meet on the street, like moved here, they're from the Northeast. I'm from the Northeast. I'm from Jersey. So like it's no prejudice against my tri-state folks. But like a third of the people you meet on a daily basis are from New York. And they're I just saw it on TikTok yesterday. A guy's it was aimed at New Yorkers, all the good reasons why moving to Miami makes a lot of sense for New Yorkers. I'm like, wow, there's even TikTok trends. Okay. Next thing is, guys, we get first looks. We get to see deals before anyone gets to see them. Okay. The properties that I bought a couple of years ago, right? I actually saw them and I actually prospected on them, not realizing they would be anything that I'd be interested in. And they actually, you know, they were unavailable at the time. But the point is, I saw them before I bought them, and I saw them through my prospecting. Okay, very, very important. Now, who here likes story time? Type story if you like story time, because I'm about to tell you a really cool story, okay, of someone that is well on their way through phase 1 and on their way to phase 2, okay? And oh, Janet, what's up? Good to see you, Janet. Yeah, this is one of my students that this just came in over the weekend, right? And actually, Janet, she's on the thread with us, okay? check this out, because your financial freedom, there's just a handful of commercial deals you need to make for you to get your financial freedom. You with me, guys? Okay. This is a story about one of my students. His name is Dennis Havrilla. All right. Shout out to Dennis. Okay. Dennis came to me about 4 months ago. Okay. Very determined, very structured, very disciplined guy. He used to be a former football player, a professional football player. Okay. So I didn't have to tell him, get up, get out of bed, get to the office, brush your teeth, pick up the phone. He's just like, I just need the plan. Okay. And when he told me, he's like, I want to make $1 million this year. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm not going to get in your way. Okay. So he started with me 4 months ago. Okay. He's got $31 million of commercial real estate in escrow in California. That's what they call being under contract. Okay. And another 30 million in the pipeline right now. Okay. So he sent this out this is from our student group. But the most important thing is next month, he's going to be cashing a check. Guys, let me know if you can see the number that's on this check. It's a little blurry because the print's kind of small. Can you guys see that number? This is his commission confirmation. Okay. Can you guys see that? Right? There's 6 digits there, aren't there? Right? Can type it in the chat if you can see it. Do me a favor. Let me know just to make sure that everyone else can see it. Okay. When he closes this deal, this is what he's going to put in his pocket. Somebody type that in the chat for me. Just make sure that everyone can see it. There we go. Yeah, Rain's got it. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure because it's small on my side and I have huge screens, right? Okay. He's going to make $125,300. And the best part is, okay, this deal is from the very first calls I ever made in the program. This was my first exclusive listing from Christian Peters' program. Guys, in less than 4 months, he has created this. Arlene, he owns his own company, so he's getting all of it. How's that sound, right? Maybe you have to pay a little bit to LoopNet and CoStar. But the point is, guys, you too can do it. The cool thing about the brokerage industry is it doesn't matter where you are. If one man or woman can do it, so can somebody else, right? So the point of it is, if you pick up the phone, if you make dials, if you have a consistent prospecting routine, you too can make 6-figure checks. Okay. This is just the first of many he's going to be taking within my program, right? So my question to you is, who's next? If you guys want to be next, okay, if you want to be the next Dennis, who here wants to cash their next 6-figure check? How many of you would like to cash a 6-figure check by the end of the year? Because you know what today is? Today is June 26th. How many of you made a promise to yourself January 1st that this was going to be your year? Type 1-1 if you made a promise to yourself that this was going to be your year. And then type 626 if you didn't hit where you wanted to so far. Okay. I see Simon says it. Arlene says it. Todd's with me. Okay. So many of us, we say new year, new me. This is going to be me. This is going to be the year that I change. Guess what? Dennis did that exact same thing. And he joined me right around the beginning of the year. I think it was like February, right? And now he's going to be cashing his first 6-figure check from something that I taught him in the last 120 days. How many of you in 120 days would like to have a property that you can make a 6-figure check from? Okay. If you guys are willing, if you guys want to learn, if you want to learn a new skill, if you want to learn the most lucrative skill in all of brokerage, make sure you book a call, because what we can do is we can give you a strategy that will work for you, just like it worked for Dennis, just like it worked for Aaron, just like it worked for so many of my students, right? If you want to make decent money, do average work. You want to earn big money, you have to do what the other people are not doing in the industry. So if you guys want to be the next, if you want to be the next one who's earning a 6-figure check, we can show you how. We've done it over and over. I've done it for myself over and over again. And now I teach it to students around the country. Okay. So if you want to make a difference in your brokerage, make a bigger impact in your life, what would 125K dropped in your lap in one check? What would that do for your life? What would that allow you to do that you're not doing currently? Right? How many of you guys have ever cashed a 6-figure check? Right? Not very many, right? Because it takes a certain skill set, right? Only about 10% of commercial agents possess the skills to do this. So by the time you get to that point, you're learning a skill that only about 10% of commercial agents know how to do. So if you want to learn this skill, if you want to be the next person cashing 6-figure checks by the end of the year, go ahead and click on the link, right? We're not promising this is going to do it, but we can promise we're going to give you the blueprint. and the rest is up to you. The blueprint works over and over and over and over again. We've done it. So can you. And if you're up for it, if you're ready to roll up your sleeves and make the second half of the year your better half of the year, go ahead and book a call, guys.